The F-35 is far and away our most technologically advanced fighter. It's the only fifth-generation fighter that is continuing to come off the production line. It represents a generational leap in technology, capabilities, and capacity.
Imagine sitting in the cockpit of an F-35 Lightning II. The roar of the engine. The world blurring past at 1,200 miles per hour. Your hand on the stick. Radar locked on an enemy target.
So cleared, switches hot, cleared, hot, release on conditions. Troy 1, switches hot.
It's the ultimate thrill. But here's the cold, hard truth. 99% of people could never fly a fighter jet. Not even close. And today, we're diving into exactly why that is.
Because the sensors are so advanced. You have stealth and other defensive systems on the aircraft.
From the insane physical demands to the mental sharpness required, flying a fighter jet is a feat reserved for an elite few. Buckle up, because we're about to break it all down.
Today, we're building the F-35 here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever dreamed of being a fighter pilot, or just wondered what it takes to fly one of these incredible machines, this video is for you. By the end, you'll understand why flying a fighter jet is one of the hardest jobs on the planet. Let's get started with reason number 1. First up, let's talk about the physical toll. Fighter jets like the F-22 Raptor or F-35 Lightning II can pull maneuvers that subject pilots to forces up to 9 Gs.
But the great thing is, this one sensor talks to everything around the jet.
That's 9 times the force of gravity crushing your body. For context, most people start feeling dizzy at 2 or 3 Gs. Think of a roller coaster. At 9 Gs, your blood wants to pool in your feet, starving your brain of oxygen. You could black out in seconds, a condition called G-lock, or G-induced loss of consciousness. That's a death sentence in combat. To survive this, pilots wear specialized G-suits that squeeze their legs and abdomen to keep blood flowing to the brain. But even with the suit, you need a body in peak condition.
That is now internalized into the F-35, makes it part of cell.
Fighter pilots train like elite athletes. Think marathon runners crossed with weightlifters. They need strong core muscles, excellent cardiovascular health, and the ability to withstand extreme physical stress. The average person, you'd probably pass out just climbing into the cockpit. And it's not just about strength. Pilots need near-perfect vision, 20/20 or better, because spotting a tiny speck on the horizon could mean the difference between life and death. They also need precise hand-eye coordination to control a jet moving at Mach 1 while tracking multiple targets. Oh, and let's not forget the ejection seat. If things go wrong, you're launched out at 600 miles per hour. That's a spinal injury waiting to happen if you're not in top shape. Okay, let's say you're physically fit enough to handle the Gs. Now comes the mental challenge, and this is where most people would crash and burn. Flying a fighter jet isn't just about pulling the stick and pressing buttons. It's about processing a fire hose of information in real time while flying at supersonic speeds. Picture this. You're in a dogfight. Your radar is showing 3 enemy jets, a missile is tracking you, and ground control is yelling about a new threat. You've got seconds to decide. Evade, engage, or call for backup. Oh, and you're pulling 7 Gs, so it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest. The average person would freeze. Fighter pilots? They thrive in that chaos. This mental toughness comes from years of training in something called Air Combat Maneuvering, or ACM. Pilots learn to think 3 steps ahead, like playing chess at 1,200 miles per hour. They need to understand complex systems, radar, weapons, electronic warfare, all while staying calm under pressure. Studies show fighter pilots have reaction times and multitasking abilities that are off the charts, often in the top 1% of the population. For most of us, our brains would short-circuit trying to keep up. Now, let's talk about the training. Becoming a fighter pilot isn't something you just pick up. It's a grueling, multi-year process that weeds out anyone who isn't exceptional.
Right here, we're just basically starting, you learn how to fly the airplane, and then you go through all the different mission sets and basic skills.
In the US, for example, you start with a 4-year degree, often in a technical field like engineering or physics. Then you apply to officer training school and hope you get selected for pilot training. Even then, it's no guarantee. The Air Force's undergraduate pilot training program takes about a year and includes hundreds of hours in classrooms, simulators, and actual aircraft like the T-38 Talon. You're tested on everything: math, physics, navigation, aerodynamics. Fail one test, and you're out. Only about 50% of candidates make it through. And that's just to fly basic aircraft. To get to a fighter jet like the F-35, that's another year or two of advanced training, including combat simulations and live fire exercises. And it's not just technical skills.
The process to become a fighter pilot is pretty long. You go through the academy, which is 4 years, and then you go to pilot training, which is just over a year.
The military looks for leadership, discipline, and mental resilience. You're constantly evaluated under stress. One mistake, like misjudging a landing or failing to spot a threat in a simulator, can end your career. For 99% of people, this level of scrutiny and pressure would be overwhelming. Let's zoom in on one of the biggest hurdles: situational awareness. Modern fighter jets like the F-35 are flying supercomputers, packed with sensors, radar, and data fusion systems. The pilot's helmet alone costs $400,000 and projects a 360-degree view of the battlefield directly into their eyes. Sounds cool, right? But it's also a lot to handle. Imagine trying to drive a car while reading a map, texting, and dodging traffic, all at 900 miles per hour. That's what flying a fighter jet is like. Pilots have to process data from multiple sources: radar, infrared, radio chatter, and make split-second decisions. The F-35's sensor fusion system feeds the pilot so much information, it's like drinking from a fire hose. Most people would be paralyzed by the overload. Fighter pilots are trained to filter out noise and focus on what matters. They develop what's called the bubble, a mental model of everything around them in 3D space. Enemy jets, missiles, terrain, allies. It's all in their head, updated constantly. This level of awareness is so rare, it's practically a superpower. For the average person, even a few minutes in a simulator would leave you disoriented and confused. Here's the kicker: flying a fighter jet isn't just hard, it's dangerous. One wrong move, and you're not just risking your life, but the lives of your wingmen, ground troops, or even civilians. Fighter pilots operate in high-stakes environments where there's no room for error. Think about it. You're flying at 40,000 feet, engaging enemy aircraft, dodging missiles, and coordinating with a team on the ground. One bad decision, like locking onto the wrong target or misjudging fuel, could end in disaster. Most people crumble under that kind of pressure. Fighter pilots are trained to stay ice cold, even when the radar warning receiver is screaming that a missile's locked on. And if things go really wrong, you're relying on an ejection seat that might save you, or might not. Ejecting at high speeds can cause severe injuries, and in combat, you're landing in hostile territory. The mental fortitude to handle that risk is something 99% of us just don't have. Finally, let's talk about access. Even if you're physically fit, mentally sharp, and willing to endure years of training, there's a practical barrier: opportunity. Fighter jets cost tens of millions of dollars, $100 million for a single F-35. The military isn't handing out joyrides. You need to be selected, vetted, and trained by one of the most elite programs in the world. And it's not just about money. The selection process is brutal. You need to be in the top 1% of candidates, academically, physically, and mentally. Most people don't even get the chance to try. Add to that the years of commitment, decades in the military for many pilots, and it's clear why this is a path reserved for a tiny fraction of the population. So, why can't 99% of people fly a fighter jet? It's not just one thing, it's everything. The crushing physical demands, the mental overload, the grueling training, the superhuman situational awareness, the life-or-death stakes, and the near-impossible barrier to entry. Fighter pilots aren't just skilled. They're the best of the best, operating at a level most of us can't even imagine. Next time you see a fighter jet streak across the sky, remember, it's not just a machine. It's a testament to human potential pushed to the absolute limit. Could you fly one? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos on military tech, aviation, or the science behind the world's most incredible machines, click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. See you in the next one.